First thing you should know is my name, Anna Whitaker, 38, former U.S. Army Major, Logistics Corps, Fallujah survivor, daughter of a man who would rather see his reflection on a gold plaque than the truth in a mirror. The second thing you should know is that in exactly 10 minutes, the Whitaker Veterans Wellness Center behind me will cut its bright red ribbon, and my father will grin for every news camera from D.C. to Dubai, because he believes no one can touch a dynasty worth billions. I press the record button on a handheld rig that trembles just enough to remind me my nerves are still human. The lens captures my face, damp with Virginia humidity, and the restless crowd collecting in folding chairs across the lawn. Sponsors' banners flap like overpriced kites, Locked-in Allied Insurance, Patriot Freedom Pack, a half-dozen energy drinks promising valor in a can. I swallow the taste of steel. My tongue remembers dust and burning diesel from another continent. Another life. Hey folks, if you're scrolling right now, stop for 60 seconds, I begin, pitching my voice to reach earbuds on commuter trains and tablets in retirement homes alike. I'm Anna, yes. That Anna, the alleged fraud, the faker with the stolen medal. Today I'm going to show you who really stole what. The chat overlay on my screen explodes. Who cares? Liar, prove it, or log off. A smile ghosts across my lips. Skepticism is oxygen online. I need them breathing fast. I raise my free hand so the camera zooms on a dull bronze cross that hangs from a frayed ribbon at my collarbone. The surface is scratched, the ridges worn smooth where shrapnel once kissed metal. Valor Cross official citation number VC09731, though that line was quietly deleted from my record 3 years ago. I tilt it until sunlight slants across the gouge running north to south, as deep as a razor slice on flesh. See this scar? I tap the groove. Knuckles throb from the contact. It's not a factory defect. It's a .762 round that went through a Humvee door and kept traveling, stopped by Sergeant Travis Booker's chest, and then by pure luck. This cross. The crowd behind me starts applauding something my father must have said at the podium. His voice carries, "Our family has always honored those who serve." The hypocrisy lands like artillery. I flinch from a memory. Not the noise. I pivot the camera, giving viewers a cinematic sweep of the stage. Father Frank Whitaker, silver hair, Savile Row suit, charismatic as a televangelist, stands center stage with my brother Ethan at his shoulder. Ethan wears a tailored field jacket and desert camo print. An accessory purchased, not earned. Reporters gather, jostling for angles. A brass band in starched uniforms polishes trumpets that will soon blare. The army goes rolling along. From my breast pocket, I slide a micro SD card, no bigger than a fingernail. Black plastic, warm from body heat. The card lives inside the hollow body of a gold eagle lapel pin, family crest. Travis mailed it home months before his last patrol. He'd scrawled 7 words on a blood-spotted note. "Harolite isn't over. Hide this from them." That pin and what it contains are my loaded weapon. I can feel its weight more than the Glock tucked legally in my waistband. The camera swings back to me. "If you believe service members deserve the truth," I say, forcing calm into each syllable, hit like, smash subscribe, and comment "Justice for Vets." The algorithm won't care until you make noise. And trust me, we're going to need a megaphone. The chat ticker rolls. #Justice for Vets repeats, mixed with the predictable slurs. Above the stage, a supersized LED wall loops a drone shot of the new center, zooming on an eternal flame sculpture Ethan designed on a PowerPoint slide. I feel bile rise in eternal flame, fueled by taxpayer dollars laundered through grief. Sweat beads at my temples. I'm back in Fallujah for half a breath smelling cordite. Hearing the fizz before an RPG strikes the hull, I blink the memory away. The present must stay sharper than the past tonight. A tap on my elbow. Grace Lee, former Marine intelligence captain, Korean American, tension coiled in her shoulders. She leans close. Off mic. Drone mesh is live. If they cut your feed, we'll bounce to every billboard in Richmond. Her thumb brushes the transmitter clipped under her hoodie. She's already risking her cybersecurity clearance for me. The loyalty of immigrants' daughters runs a different current. One older men in marble offices never predict. I nod. Exhale. One more minute. Back to camera. Quick story. I tell the viewers. Last month, a blogger accused me of inventing my service record. That rumor hit 3 million views in a day. Because it's easier to believe a Latino-Italian woman in combat fatigues is fake than to question a defense contractor in Armani. My father's PR team amplified it. They erased my digital footprint, nudged a database here, an anonymous source there, and suddenly the only woman who actually bled in this family became the villain. That's the injustice you smelled but couldn't name. A breeze lifts the edges of my notes. In the distance, a giant countdown clock, part of the opening spectacle, ticks from 000200 downward. When it hits 0, fireworks and confetti cannons will fire. Donors will cheer. History books, the ones money edits, will log the Whitakers as unwavering patriots. I slide the micro SD back into its pin, close the pin's wings with a soft click. The tactile sound steadies me. A round chambering. Here's what happens next. In about, I glance at the clock, 90 seconds. I'll walk past those velvet ropes like any guest. I'll shake my father's hand, smile for the cameras, and ask if I can say a few words. You all keep watching, because the moment he nods, the truth Travis died for is going to light up that mega screen, the way tracer rounds lit the night above Route 10. Chat erupts again. Do it. Expose them. But nestled among cheers, I catch a new handle, Spectre TB scrolling a single message over and over. Not all ghosts stay buried. Cold flares across my spine. Those words match a line in Travis's last journal entry. Classified and never published. 40 seconds. The brass band begins its intro. My father takes the ceremonial scissors from an aide. Ethan adjusts the torque of his perfect smile. Grace shades her eyes. Signals, go. I lift the rig to eye level. Final address. If I disappear after today, mirror every file you're about to see. Flood the net, because the truth is only bulletproof when millions carry it. I step toward the stage, heartbeat hammering, the Valor Cross bouncing against my sternum in time with each stride. 10 feet, 8. The security volunteer checks my pass, sees my last name, and practically bows. 6 feet, 4. My father turns, startled yet obliged to greet the prodigal daughter in front of the press. His eyes widen a fraction. He didn't know I'd come. I extend my hand. He clasps it. The cameras flash. Behind his shoulder, the LED clock hits 000005, 4, 3, 2. Dad, I whisper, lips barely moving. Try not to blink. The screen behind him blinks black, then floods white as unknown code begins to load line after line, racing toward a revelation the world, and my father, cannot unsee. A faint feedback whine from the stage speakers reminds me I'm still holding the camera rig. But in the split second before my father's perfect backdrop glitches to white, let me rewind. You need to understand why that screen matters, why this family name Whitaker draws cameras like moths to neon. Because if you grasp the ground we're standing on, you'll feel it shake the moment the truth starts tunneling up from underneath. I grew up in Ashford, Virginia, an hour south of the Pentagon but decades older in attitude, an antebellum town where wrought iron fences guard magnolia trees and history textbooks rarely mention whose hands laid the bricks. On Willowcrest Drive, our mansion sat behind columns thick enough to hide a cavalry regiment. Inside, everything gleamed mahogany staircases, chandeliers the size of sedan engines, and in Father's study a walnut display case, packed with medals he never earned. He called it the collection. I called it cosplay on velvet. Silver stars, purple hearts, a Medal of Honor replica all bought at estate auctions, arranged in precise rows beneath a portrait of our ancestor. Brigadier General Whitaker, Civil War hero/tobacco magnate. Father would tip his glass of 18-year scotch, toast the oil-painted patriarch, and say, "Legacy isn't remembered. Anna, it's curated." At 16, I learned curate was a fancy synonym for edit. My mother, Maria Elena, fought that philosophy with paperback novels and public service. She was a librarian by training, a dreamer by design, and the first Mexican-American to sit on Ashford's Cultural Council. She believed knowledge wasn't a private currency. It was communal water. When she convinced donors to build a new public library, the plaque above its glass doors read, Maria Elena Whitaker Community Library. Hic veritas lucet. Here the truth shines. Father tolerated the library the way a banker tolerates a church bake sale harmless. As long as it didn't threaten the bottom line, he even posed for photos at the ribbon cutting. But the minute Mom passed, the marble letters disappeared overnight. New plaque, Whitaker Family Community Library. Motto scrubbed clean. Legacy curated. I left Ashford 2 weeks later, enlisted at 18, and after West Point, Ranger School, and 18 months of convoy logistics, found myself in Fallujah. 2008 sandstorm season. Picture air so thick with grit, it scours the enamel off your teeth. The smell of burnt plastic swirling with diesel. My unit ran emergency med evacs. On the worst day, an RPG tore through our ambulance and detonated fuel. A bright orange bloom that still burns inside closed eyelids. Sergeant Travis Booker shoved me clear. Caught the next blast full in the chest. I carried what was left of him to the casualty collection point. Hands slippery, boots skidding through blood and coolant. Weeks later, headquarters pinned a Valor Cross on me. The metal hit my palm like cooled lead. The ribbon soaked a teardrop before I realized it was mine. Father's congratulatory email was 1 sentence long. Good optics. Kid, proud of you. Fast forward a decade, I'm honorably discharged. Titanium plate over T11 vertebra. Insomnia stacked 3 nights deep at any given time. Father's company, Whitaker Defense Solutions. Quadrupled revenue off post-9/11 contracts. Ethan 3 years younger. Cheeks that never saw desert wind became COO. Darling of defense podcasts. When he introduced himself at Rotary Dinner's combat vet. Wounded in action, no one checked the roster. Why question a Whitaker? Mom's library thrummed with life after school tutoring. ESL nights, a food share fridge. Until. In early 2024, Father rebranded it again. This time as a corporate innovation hub, complete with holographic logo and smoothie kiosk. My protest op-ed got buried beneath sponsored articles praising the family's generosity. Comments called me ungrateful. A month later, The Punch landed harder. DailyHero.net published Stolen Valor, Major Whitaker's dubious record. They cited classified documents suggesting I faked my citation. The piece went viral: retweets, reaction videos, radio hosts snickering. Another lady vet playing soldier. My inbox filled with skull emojis and prove-it demands. HR at the logistics firm, where I manage supply chains, suggested paid leave until the noise died down. I scoured official portals. My service file read, "Other than honorable discharge." Somebody had reached into the archive and rewritten history in red ink. When I phoned Army Human Resources Command, the specialist on the line hesitated, whispered, "Ma'am, this request is flagged senior level. I can't override." Click. Legacy. Curated, now weaponized. Here's where the body remembers what the mind wants to forget. The noise of incoming. the metallic scent of fear. Sleepless nights returned like debt collectors. I'd jolt awake convinced my Valor Cross was gone, ripped off the ribbon just like on the blogs. I started wearing it under my shirt during grocery runs. Heartbeat ticking against the scarred bronze. Proof only I could feel. Shame morphed into anger the night I saw Ethan on cable news. Seated beside father. A chyron hailed him. Decorated war hero leads launch of Whitaker Veterans Wellness Center. He flashed a grayscale photo, Travis's unit cropped to show Ethan front and center. Me conveniently out of frame. I tasted bile so acidic, my eyes watered. The next dawn, while Ashford's church bells marked 6 a.m., my work laptop pinged. One new message, unlisted address. Subject line, "Ghosts never die." No greeting, no signature, just an attachment named pin, JPG. The image loaded our family crest lapel pin. Gold eagle clutching arrows. Something odd in the shadows beneath its wings. 7 words overlaid across the bottom. Travis didn't just die, check the pin. My pulse sprinted. Travis's parents claimed the military shipped home only his dog tags. No personal effects. Yet that pin ours sat on a plain white backdrop like evidence on an FBI table. I fetched my own identical pin from a shoebox of deployment keepsakes. Under a lamp. I spotted a hairline seam around the post never noticed before. I wedged a scalpel blade beneath it. The backing popped, revealing a hollow cavity no wider than a pencil eraser. Empty. Someone had hidden something there once, something small, digital, and the photo sender clearly believed the secret hadn't died with my teammate. Questions slammed me. Why would Travis have a Whitaker pin? Who photographed it now? What exactly is stuffed inside the crest in that picture? I zoomed on the photo again, squinting at tiny embossed letters, WDSEC 2007, Whitaker Defense Security Division year I shipped out. My scalp prickled. That afternoon, I drove to Norfolk, wind whipping Chesapeake Bay whitecaps, to find the only person I trusted in cyberspace trenches, Grace Lee. Grace ran a data forensics shop above a Korean grocery. Neon squid sign buzzing in the window. She studied the photo. Ran metadata. Trigged a grin. Timestamp says 3 days ago. Location tag scrubbed. But residual cell tower ID pings Ashford grid. So the pin is back home, I muttered. Under our noses. Grace fired up a soldering iron. Cracked a half smile. I can duplicate that cavity in your pin. Add a tracker. But we'll need eyes inside the mansion. I hadn't set foot in Willowcrest Drive since Mother's funeral. The thought of those columns chilled me. Quieter battlegrounds are sometimes louder. Still, the bigger battle raged online. A fresh wave of memes portrayed me photoshopped onto Hollywood sets, Saving Private Paycheck, Major Make-Believe. They'd be funny if thousands of veterans hadn't piled on. I replied to a few with court-martial docs. Medivac reports facts did nothing. The algorithm rewards blood, not nuance. Grace handed back my hollowed-out pin. Now microtransmitter snug inside. Slip it onto Daddy Warbucks. We track where he stashes the real payload. Follow the breadcrumbs. I nodded. Fingers curling around metal left warm by her tools. The Valor Cross at my neck felt heavier, as if urging me toward the next move. Night settled over Norfolk. Shipyard cranes etched black glyphs against sodium orange sky. On the drive home, talk radio host Gerald Grant blared. Should fake vets face prison colors chimed, yes, yes, yes. I twisted the volume down. PTSD makes you jump at backfires, but public shaming is a sharper detonation. There's no armor for it except truth. Back in my motel room, I pinned the modified crest onto my blazer, rehearsing neutral smiles. Tomorrow, the mansion hosted a pre-opening donor dinner. My father, ever the patriarch, insisted family attend. I laid out Mom's old pearl earrings, tiny rebellion. A reminder the truth had once shone over that library door. Then I set an alarm for 0500, knowing sleep would be shallow, if it came at all. On the nightstand my phone buzzed, unknown number again. A text bubbled up, Harrowlight wakes at dawn. Be ready. Attached a grainy satellite shot of cargo crates stamped WDSEC. Lined on a pier I recognized from deployment briefings, Misrata, Libya. My mouth went dry. Harrowlight, the codename whispered in warzone rumors about lost ordnance and shadow buyers. And now connected to Whitaker crates halfway across the Atlantic. I looked from the phone to the gold pin gleaming dully under motel lamplight. Then to the Valor Cross beside it, two symbols, one polished by pride, the other tarnished by secrets. Which one would the world believe? The answer hinged on what I found behind those mansion doors. As first light bled into the sky, my phone dinged a final time, live video feed request from a username I hadn't seen since Fallujah Travis Echo. The thumbnail showed the Whitaker Mansion's library window, and a shadow moving inside. A grandfather clock in the foyer of Willowcrest strikes 6, its baritone chime rolling through halls that once smelled of lemon polish and library paste. Tonight, the air carries bergamot cologne, truffle oil, and the hush money hush of old money. I step through the arched doorway in my mother's pearl earrings. Modified Whitaker crest lapel pin glinting just below the collar of a navy blazer. Microtransmitter armed, heart rate hovering at combat tempo. A butler offers champagne. I decline, my spine needs its reflexes sober. The entry ceiling rises 3 stories. Chandelier crystal tinkling whenever HVAC kicks on, as if even the air here demands applause. Donors mingle around a mahogany buffet where servers carve wagyu into petals. Overhead, a projector loops a sizzle reel of Whitaker Defense Solutions drones soaring, troops waving, Ethan narrating about sacred duty. I absorb every frame like shrapnel. Anna, that is you. The voice belongs to Congressman Alan Price, House Armed Services. Lapel pin shaped like an eagle, grasping olive branches. He grips my hand as if real veterans are museum artifacts he's delighted to touch. Frank didn't say you'd be here, he adds. Of course he didn't. I smile thinly. Couldn't miss the family reunion. Across the ballroom, Father works the floor, his charisma calibrated to each wallet's worth. Ethan stands near the marble fireplace, wearing a bronze star at his breast, unearned hardware, catching light like a lie polished hourly. Rage pushes hot against my ribs. But I log the detail, the star's fastening bar, perfect spot for my tracker if I can get close. A string quartet segues from Vivaldi to John Philip Sousa, patriotic enough for photo ops, classy enough for caviar. My PTSD flares at the snare drum cadence. Mortar flashes ghost behind my eyelids. I inhale through the 4-7-8 technique, 4 counts in, 7 hold, 8 out. The scent of beeswax and gardenia drifts in, grounding me. Phone vibrates in my clutch. Travis Echo, live now. I open the feed covertly. Lens jitter, night vision grain. It shows a narrow corridor lined with first edition books. Our mansion's private library. A shadow flickers past shelves. Too tall for staff. Too confident for a thief. My pulse spikes, either a collaborator or bait. I pocket the phone. Mission 1, tag Ethan. Mission 2, locate whoever's in that library before they locate me. Public humiliation. Whitaker style, dinner plates clear. Father taps a glass. Friends, patriots, family. Tonight we preview what Ashford will unveil next week, a wellness center that says thank you to every American hero. And my son, he pauses for effect, Major Ethan Whitaker, twice wounded in action, will lead the charge. Applause detonates. Cameras turn. Ethan dips his head in practiced modesty. Father continues. We're also joined by my daughter, Anna. The spotlight swings, heat hits my shoulders. Though she's chosen a quieter path, She supports our mission. Quieter path, that phrase erases Fallujah, amputates valor, cross with one verbal scalpel. Laughter ripples small and polite, social death by 1,000 claps. I raise a glass of water. To the mission, I echo. Voice steady barely. A server wanders with a tray of miniature flags on toothpicks. Perfect distraction. When Ethan accepts a canapé, I brush past, swapping pins in a sleight of hand born from loading IV lines in moving Humvees. My modified crest nests exactly where his Bronze Star's clutch cap was. 5 seconds. Mission accomplished. Grace texts SIG locked. Packets streaming. The transmitter now pulses metadata to her Norfolk server's time. Coordinates, motion. We can follow Ethan's suit like a homing beacon. Into the lion's study, Phase 2 requires solitude. I slip away under guise of fresh air. Ascend the servant staircase to the 3rd floor where the actual library hides. Dusty and off tour. The door creaks, lacquer crackles like old bones. Crossbeams catch moonlight spilling through a leaded window. This place always felt sacred. My mother's true chapel. Tonight, it feels raided. A banker's box sits open on the antique reading table. Files spilling like guts. Shipping manifests. Serial numbers. Stamped HLU9. Harolite. My breath knots. Libya crates. Right here in Father's house. Shadow movement to my right, my chest locks. Then a whisper, easy, major. Tink steps from behind a shelf. Hoodie zipped. Laptop slung cross-body. His ink-splattered fingers salute. Door sensor was child's play. Figured you'd need a dive partner. He flips the laptop. Scrolling code shows Ethan's PIN broadcasting. Signal routes to a basement vault. Guess where the elevator stops? Sublevel, I answer. Same depth as the old wine cellar. Tink nods. And your dad's added a biometric lock since blueprints you stole freshman year. He winks. Before strategy forms, the library lights snap on halogen glare, flooding pages. Father stands in the doorway. Behind him, 2 private security men, shoulders squared, jackets bulging at holsters. I wondered who tripped the secondary sensor, he says. Toned silk over razors, eyes on the banker's box. Corporate property, Anna, classified. I square myself between files and Father. Classified by whom? The Department of War Profits. He steps closer, lowers his voice. You have no clearance, no authority, and frankly, no credibility. Walk away. Injustice thickens the air. My mouth tastes pennies. But action has its own gravity. I lift the Valor Cross from beneath my shirt. Dangle it. This says otherwise. Father's gaze flickers not toward the metal, but toward its deep scar, recognition or fear. For a heartbeat, I glimpse something human. Then he recovers. Stolen symbols don't impress. Funny, I shoot back. That's Ethan's specialty. Behind me, Tink clicks a key. Screensaver on a wall-mounted monitor dissolves into covert footage of crates loaded onto a freighter. Time-stamped last month. Twist 1 dock worker pauses. Shakes off a glove tattoo on his wrist matches Whitaker crest. Father's jaw sets like concrete. Security closes in. Tink swipes the laptop. Vaults between aisles. I pivot, slamming an encyclopedia shelf to block pursuit. Dust erupts sneezes of neglect. We sprint for the servants' corridor. Boots pounding oak. Stairwell standoff. We descend narrow steps. Family portraits sneer from gilded frames. At landing 2, a guard appears. Taser raised. Before electricity can arc, I shove Valor Cross into his line of sight. Federal evidence. I bluff. Voice command Sergeant Sharp. Interfere and you obstruct justice. Surprise buys us 3 seconds enough to vault banister, drop onto first-floor carpet, and duck into the conservatory. Glass walls reveal moonlit gardens. Security floodlights carving white islands and dark lawn. Far back, the stone path leads to Mom's defaced library. Another symbol waiting to be redeemed. Tink hisses laptop safe. But we lost box photos. Need extraction. Grace's text pops drone above West Wing. Smoke module armed on your tap. I look up through glass ceiling panes. A silent quadcopter hovers. Red LED blinking like a pulse. Options unfurl trigger smoke. Create chaos. But donors might stampede. Innocents become collateral. Lines between just and reckless blur. Hook element returns. My phone buzzes, Travis Echo streaming again. I open it. Feed shows basement vault interior. Camera angle low, maybe hidden in Ethan's suit. He's there, unlocking a wall safe. He removes something small, my micro SD card. Travis's evidence previously missing from the pin he now wears. How did the card travel from photo to Ethan's possession? Logic spins. Answer stings. Travis trusted someone in this house before he died. Third character in play, unseen conspirator. Guard voices echo down hallway. Decisions compress into milliseconds. I flick a single text to Grace hold drones. Prep Route 2. I tell Tink we shadow Ethan to that vault. The proof is downstairs, not in a smoke cloud up here. We slip through pantry corridors. Cadence synced to distant Sousa still drifting from ballroom speakers. My calf cramps reminder that steel plates hate sudden marathons. I push through. Purpose works better than morphine. Sub-level secrets. Basement halls smell of damp concrete and the coppery bite of old pipes. We crouch behind wine barrels as Ethan finishes stacking binders in a fireproof chest. The pin tracker beacon pulses on Tink's tablet, bright as a lighthouse at midnight. Ethan speaks into a phone. Voice tight. Yes. Father. All Harrelite docks sealed. Tomorrow they ship to Cayman. Customs clear. He pauses. Then Anna. She's a PR glitch, we'll spin it. Rage beats like rotor blades in my ears. But the ket mo for this part must be more than anger. It needs leverage. I study the safe door biometric plate. Numeric pad. Father's fingerprint, maybe. But Ethan's sooner available. I mouth to Tink, we need his print. Tink nods, slides a small strip of transparent polymer from his pocket portable latent print film. He needs Ethan gone 2 minutes to lift residue. Opportunity arrives with footsteps above. Father calls. Ethan. Guests leaving come, say goodnight. My brother stuffs phone into pocket. Exits. We move. Tink presses polymer to scanner. Faint whirls fluoresce. He peels, transfers to silicone mold, presses again. Lights turn green. Safe yawns open. Inside, stacks of manila. External SSD. A velvet pouch. I grab the pouch inside, rest it down, the original Whitaker Crest pin. Travis's micro SD still inserted. Symbol recovered. Laptop screen shows drone battery dipping. Grace pings security sweeping basement in 90 seconds. Exfil now. We slam safe. Fade down auxiliary tunnel used by caterers decades ago. At its end, a service hatch leads outside near hydrangea bushes. Fresh night air hits lungs like ice. Crickets orchestra. Mansion lights glow warm. Oblivious palace. I clutch the velvet pouch. Feel the card's ridges through fabric, the weight of a fallen friend's last stand. Car tires crunch on gravel behind us. Headlights bloom. Blinding. A black SUV idles. Rear window lowers to reveal Congressman Price. He studies us. Expression unreadable. Then beckons with 2 fingers. Major Whitaker. We need to talk before someone truly patriotic gets hurt. Tink mutters, either guardian angel or guillotine. I step toward the vehicle, pulse hammering the Valor Cross against my chest. Unsure whether the next door I open leads to salvation or another curated trap. Headlights bathe me in a wash of pale gold. So bright, the silver scars on my Valor Cross seem to ignite. The SUV door swings inward. Cool leather scent mixes with cigar smoke and jet fuel. Capitol Hill's unofficial cologne. Congressman Alan Price sits alone, tie loosened, cufflinks Hollywood bright. "Major Whitaker," he says, voice pitched so low it vibrates the armrest. "Please get in. I'm trying to keep you alive." Behind me, Tink hovers, laptop hugged like a life vest. I nod once stand by. He melts into azalea shadows while I climb inside. The fracture line Price doesn't waste time. I chair the subcommittee on defense oversight. 2 weeks ago, an anonymous courier dropped a packet marked Herolite. Tonight, your father called me, frantic about a compromised family member. That'd be you. He flicks ashes into a crystal tray. I want to know which side of this avalanche I'm standing on before it hits the Capitol. I ease the velvet pouch onto the seat, letting the original crest pins spill out like contraband jewelry. All roads point to Whitaker Defense laundering surplus ordnance to Libya, while erasing anyone who asks questions, starting with a dead medic named Travis Booker. Price lifts the pin with tweezers. "Studying the micro SD. Have you viewed what's on this yet?" "Not fully, but enough to collapse a lobby firm." He sits back, sighing. "Then we need to move fast. Frank Whitaker financed half the packs in tomorrow's budget markup. Once his donors sniff trouble, they'll stall hearings indefinitely. Evidence must go public before they can throttle the schedule." That's the crack in the fortress I've hunted for months. A plan sparks, fast and bright. Building the strike package, Price pulls a legal pad, scribbles names. You'll need 3 choke points, data validation, secure chain of custody, and mass broadcast. Fail 1. They'll call it deepfake. I already have pieces Grace's drone mesh for broadcast, Tink's forensic mirrors for chain of custody. What I lack is a federal badge. I can subpoena Whitaker Defense tomorrow. Price offers, but bureaucracy crawls. Better testify at the Veterans Appropriations hearing. Tuesday C-SPAN cameras. Press pool. Full immunity if we file whistleblower status tonight. He meets my eyes. "You up for live artillery?" PTSD hums, a low-grade tremor in my ribs. But every injustice night of the last year, the library plaque, the viral slurs, Travis's photo burns hotter. "Line up the microphones," I say. "I'll bring fireworks." We shake. His grip is firm but not crushing a politician who's practiced authenticity. Still, trust is a luxury. I snap a covert photo of our handshake, time-stamped leverage in case he flips. Before I exit, Price adds the unexpected "O" and keep that Valor Cross visible. The public loves symbols they can tweet. Rearming the truth. Outside, Tink rejoins me. Breath frosting in night air. Tracker's still hot. Ethan headed south on I-95, probably shuttling more docks. He shows me the blinking signal. We let him run, I decide. Our job's bigger now, prep congressional kill shot. We speed toward Norfolk in my dented Corolla. Humble wheels feel righteous after mansion marble. Along the way, I call Mitch Darden. His gravel voice answers at first ring. I summarize the vault hall. Price's offer. Silence. Then a whistle. Tuesday gives us 52 hours. I can pull an evidence chain lab at Fort Belvoir. Authenticate the SD card. Do it, I say. And Mitch double encrypt everything. They've already rewritten one service record. Roger that. Major. Next call Grace. She's in her ramen-lit office, soldering a 4G fallback array. I'll piggyback onto every VetNet node, if they cut the congressional stream. We hijack LED billboards across D.C. She pauses. Softer. This feels big. Anna. Mom-level big. My chest warms. Mom believed information should shine for everyone. Let's make her proud. Twist in the dark. We reach Grace's shop near midnight. Fluorescent glare paints our faces exhaustion gray. Tink dumps the pin contents onto an anti-static mat. The SD decrypt charges forward manifests, bank ledgers, and my breath catches footage. Grainy helmet cam from 2011, a Whitaker-branded truck convoying crates under desert moon. The squad's radio chatter crackles. Voice 1, Ethan load faster, sun'll expose us. Voice 2, Travis sir, these aren't med supplies. Geneva rules Ethan, you're on my payroll or under my tire. Sergeant, choose. Travis's face glints in NVG wash anger. Then resignation. 20 seconds later, a muffled gunshot. Camera jerks, falls. Feed ends on sand. My stomach caves. We'd always believed enemy fire took him. The killer wore our crest all along. Tink curses low. Grace covers her mouth. I grip the edge of the workbench until knuckles blanch. The Valor Cross swinging like a pendulum of guilt. Breathe. 478. I cue the file into a secure folder labeled Truth Primary. That video is the warhead. Congress is its launch vehicle. War room chalk talk. Whiteboard markers squeak as we draft operations. Sunday, 0900. Mitch drives SD copy to Belvoir Lab. Obtain forensic affidavit. Monday, 1400. Grace stress tests mesh net around Capitol. Drone battery caches on rooftop vents. Monday, 2000. I film teaser on Valor X Reality, Countdown to Truth. CTA share, mirror, pre-save. Tuesday, 0830. Meet Price at Rayburn entrance. File whistleblower package with clerk. Tuesday, 0900. Live testimony. Present video. Hard copy manifests. Bank links. Valor cross visible. Pinned scar, side outward symbol, reborn. We circle uncertainties and read Ethan's next move. Father's lobbying might. Digital smear campaigns. Tink suggests we deepfake proof our evidence with SHA-256 hashes on blockchain. Grace scripts it before coffee brews. At 0300, my eyelids sandpaper. But adrenaline denies sleep. I step outside. Ocean wind whipping hair salt sharp. Across the street. Fish processing plant cranes idle like giant skeletons. America's underbelly industries humming. While CEOs dream of yachts, it's a perfect backdrop for resolve. I raise my phone, record a raw vlog for later camera close. No makeup, eyes red. For every vet who's ever been called a liar. For every immigrant kid told her story doesn't fit the brochure. Tuesday is ours. When Legacy punches back, we re-enter the office. Tink's face is lit by monitor blue. Problem, he says. Ethan's signal stopped last ping just outside Quantico Marine Base. Then, nothing. If he reached federal soil, he might hand off decoy data. Poison the well. Simultaneous beep my email. Service record reclassification notice. I open the PDF. It now lists me as AWOL, felony desertion. A warrant request attached. Shock is a brief freeze. Then molten fury. They're manufacturing a criminal record to pre-arrest me before Tuesday. Grace slams the desk. We can counter, but only if we stay free. Mitch calls. Voice urgent, heads up. Major, rumor is Army CID just got orders to detain you for questioning about stolen government property. Copy, I answer. Time for evasive route. Symbol renewed. Grace hands me a black hoodie with a white phoenix stencil her design. I swap blazer for hoodie. Clip Valor Cross on the outside pocket where cameras will catch it in every guerrilla live stream. You tried to bury me. Watch me sprout wings. Symbol iteration 2. Tink reprograms my Corolla plates. Hacker magic turns them into a Florida rental on police scanners. We load drives. Drone kits, whiteboard snapshots into duffels. At doorframe. I hesitate. Look back at the workbench, Travis's helmet cam frozen on last frame. Night sky over Iraq. I salute the screen. We finish this for you. Doc. Exit through America's veins. Highways at 4 a.m., Feel apocalyptic, just semis and sodium lights. Grace drives. I monitor CB channels for police chatter. Tink sleeps upright. Hoodie over eyes. Laptop fan whirring lullaby. My wrists ache from gripping the Valor Cross. I keep it there on purpose. A reminder, pain has a job. An hour out of D.C., we pull into a rest stop diner glowing fluorescent coral. Over burnt coffee, I draft testimony bullet points, chain of command. Dates. The moment the RPG struck. Travis's last words. Tears threaten, but precision overrides emotion. I've learned courts respect numbers, not sobs. Back on the road. Dawn leaks pink across the horizon. Grace hums a hymn her mother sings at Flag Day ceremonies. Words about fractured liberty made whole. I join on the second verse, our harmonies shaky but stubborn. As we merge onto I-395, my burner phone buzzes unknown video call. I answer on speaker. Screen shows father inside his penthouse office. City skyline behind him. His smile is calm, surgical. Anna, dear, before you embarrass yourself, know this Congressman Price boarded a charter to Zurich an hour ago. Something about an ethics review. He steeples fingers. Your allies evaporate quickly when real stakes appear. My chest hollows if Price flees. Subpoena dies. Hearing stalls. Father leans closer. Voice intimate as poison. Come home. Surrender the files. And I'll reinstate your record. Keep pushing. And you'll wish you'd stayed a ghost in Fallujah. The call ends. Silence slams the car. Price gone. Our federal shield just vaporized. Ahead. The Capitol dome glimmers like a target without cover. Grace grips the wheel. We fly solo then. I fasten the Valor Cross. Scar upright. Let them come. Tuesday still happens if we have to broadcast from the steps. But in my gut, a question detonates. Did Price betray us? Or has father staged the perfect feint? The answer waits beyond the next mile marker. And whatever it is, will decide if truth lives, or gets curated forever. Fog from the Potomac still looks blue-gray at 5 a.m. when we roll onto South Capitol Street. But my pulse is already artillery red. Every streetlight feels like a searchlight searching for me, AWOL deserter, according to the forged warrant. Army CID now circulates statewide. Grace switches the Corolla plates to night mode spoof. Reflective paint flipping numbers each time headlights graze us. Tink rides shotgun, eyes flicking between laptop code and the rearview mirror. My Valor Cross hangs outside my hoodie like a dare. Its gouged bronze is the only badge I trust. 1. Breach the beltway. Dodge the badge. Outside Joint Base in Anacostia. We pull into a commuter lot. Mitch Darden's black Dodge Ram idles next to a lamppost. Diesel rumbled deeper than my heartbeat. He waves us over, holds up 2 laminated passes. Temporary DoD consultant credentials, he mutters. They'll fool guards if no one blinks too hard. We trade jackets for business blazers, the costume of credibility and crest, through Fort Belvoir's West Gate at 0614. My spine tightens when MPs scan our IDs. One finger hovers longer on my face. Mitch coughs, mentions oversight audit, and the barrier arm lifts like grace. Inside the forensics lab, fluorescent lights hum a migraine. We lock the SD card, video, and manifests into a Faraday cabinet. Techs in white coats unwrap them with tweezers as reverently as communion wafers. A colonel named Jacob signs chain of custody forms, stamping each page. Evidence, level 1. Every thud of his stamp feels like a nail in father's coffin. Yet Jacobs's eyes flit to the wall TV where morning news loops breaking. Rep. Alan Price cancels D.C. meetings. Destination unknown, under the Chiron. A panel speculates he fled corruption inquiries. My guts twist. Father's claim has teeth. Mitch squeezes my shoulder. Price or no price. An authenticated video outguns rumor. The colonel nods, handing over a sealed Pelican case and a notarized affidavit. Forensic hash matches camera OEM signatures. Footage is legit. He looks at me. Softer. Bring it home. Major. I say the Marine prayer in Spanish out the lab door. 2. Information Wars Pixels versus Panic Noon. We set up HQ in a Holiday Inn room overlooking the Capitol Dome, 3 laptops, 5 burner phones, ramen cups simmering like tiny boiler rooms. Grace launches a VetNet teaser countdown to truth. 18:30 tomorrow. Mirror this or it dies. Within an hour, the hashtag #ValorX climbs top 10. But so does #Whitaker Lies, a counter-campaign flooding memes of me side by side with Bigfoot. Tink tracks IP clusters bots from a PR firm father owns. He codes a filter, booting fake accounts faster than they spawn. Sweat beading on his forehead, like dew on combat steel. At 15:07, a deepfake hits Twitter. Anna admits forging metal. It's almost perfect, my face, my voice. But the eyes are wrong, dead pixels where fire should be. Grace slices a frame, overlays the blockchain hash of the real footage, tweets side-by-side comparison. Genuine vets pounce, shredding the fake. The algorithm wobbles, truth regains traction. 3. Rooftop rigging because signals die. Sunset bleeds tangerine across Federal Triangle while we haul Pelican cases up an abandoned maintenance ladder onto the Rayburn roof. Grace's drones line the parapet like metallic ravens. GoPro eyes scanning wind shear. Cables snake to a 20-watt microwave transmitter Plan B broadcast if the hearing stream accidentally drops. I test fit an earbud. Stashing a pebble-sized camera in the Valor Cross's ribbon knot symbol becomes lens. Mitch radios from inside room 2141 prepped. Committee starts 0900 sharp. A sudden gale flips my hair into my face. I catch the smell of cold marble and distant pretzel stands. Taste adrenaline copper. Down on Independence Avenue, a convoy of 3 SUVs in Whitaker livery cruises past. Tinted windows reflecting Capitol floodlights. My father arriving to twist arms, or Ethan delivering fresh bribes. The wind forces a decision. Grace, lock drones to auto-deploy at 08:55, I say. If I lose audio, you paint every billboard from here to Union Station. She nods, knuckles the phoenix on my hoodie for luck. 4. Night before nerves sin. Prayer. Paperwork. Hotel hallway carpet muffles footsteps, but not doubts. I sit at a desk littered with sticky notes, chronology of Herolite, ethics codes, Travis's final coordinates. I rehearse opening lines aloud. Chairwoman, my record states AWOL, yet I never abandoned a post. My post abandoned me. It sounds righteous until my voice cracks. I start again. Midnight. Mitch delivers grim news. Feds just reflagged your rental plates. Father's lobbyist leaned on the Justice Data Center. He slides over a marshal's uniform shirt and cap, dressed like escort security. VIPs pass metal detectors with minimal eyes. I swallow panic. Won't proximity scanners ping the Valor Cross camera? Titanium rivets confuse most systems. He replies, walk through confident and nobody stops you. Confidence easier to fake than valor. Apparently. 5. Dawn of testimony cat and mouse at the magnetometer, Tuesday, 08:20. The security queue coils across the Rayburn atrium. Marble echoes with shoe clicks. Reporters barking stand-ups. Activists waving neon signs. My borrowed Marshall cap is slightly loose. I tilt it low. Keep smile minimal. Mitch walks beside me carrying the Pelican case like a caterer's platter. Each step drums old back injuries. The Valor Cross taps my sternum 6 beats per second. When my boots hit the metal detector mat, a siren chirps quick. Suspicious. A guard squints at my badge. Eyes flick to the metal. That's real nice hardware. Ma'am, war surplus. My mouth dries. Memory of shrapnel scalds. It's issued. I answer. Issue a problem. He hesitates. Behind me, a line backlog grows. C-SPAN crew aims cameras this way. Hungry for spectacle. Bureaucracy hates delays. The guard waves me through with a shrug. Mitch follows. Wink so small it could be dust. Inside, Congressman Price appears ghost-risen, striding from a side corridor. Suit pressed. No sign of Zurich travel. My gut tightens. Ready for betrayal. Major Whitaker. He greets. Voice stage loud. Let's get you sworn in. His grip on my elbow is firm. Into my palm, he slips a folded memo. Ethics Committee cleared me. Whitaker blackmail attempt failed. We're green. Relief unfurls, but I keep my face granite. Games aren't over. 6. The mic inches closer. Room 2141 buzzes like a hive on payday. Lawmakers arrange nameplates, some friendly, some gnarled, like barnacles on defense spending. My seat faces them. Valor Cross glinting beneath bright hearing lights behind me. Press rows hum. I spot Grace in the back. Thumbs up. Drone feed icon green on her phone. Tink texts, hash mirrors live. Every byte of video sits on 15,000 vet servers worldwide now. They can't burn them all. Chairwoman Carter gavels. This hearing will address allegations of illicit arms transfers tied to veteran appropriations. Her gaze shifts to me. Major Whitaker. You may begin. I breathe in. Smell carpet disinfectant mixed with old wood polish, smell of policy. Of battles fought in suits. My statement leads with Travis who he was. How he died. The pin he hid for me. I watch cynical faces soften at a photo of him teaching Iraqi kids first aid. Then I cue the video. The screens darken, flicker, and nothing. Black, audio hiss. Committee murmurs. Technicians scramble. Grace's eyes widen. She mouths, signal cut. Father's hand. No doubt sabotage the AV. Paint me conspiracy theorist. I lean into mic, Chairwoman. We have a contingency. Please direct your attention out the south windows. Grace taps her phone, outside. Every digital billboard on Independence Avenue combusts into color helmet cam footage, plays 5 stories tall, Ethan barking orders. The gunshot. Camera falling. Gasps ripple through the chamber. Some aides run to windows as the moral gravity hits. Committee audio snaps back. Screens reboot. Forced to mirror the street's truth. Ethan bursts through a side door. Face crimson. This is doctored. She's unstable. AWOL security tries to hush him. Fails. Spectacle gilded with guilt. Chairwoman bangs gavel. Mr. Whitaker, sit down or be removed. Mitch hands the Pelican case to the sergeant-at-arms. Affidavit. Forensic hashes. Everything. Legal anchors sink deep. I finish, voice steady but trembling inside. You erased my record. But you cannot erase this. Valor isn't a commodity. It's a debt paid in blood, and today the bill is due. Applause from gallery vets in ball caps. Journalists stunned silent. My chest feels both lighter and raw, like stitches after surgery. As officers escort Ethan out, he twists toward me, eyes wild. You think this ends us? You have no idea who was really behind Harrelite. At that moment, my phone buzzes a push alert from Spectre TB. Only one line, check the SD backup frame, 1942. I open the still and choke there. Reflected in a convoy truck door, stands Congressman Price. Younger, night vision goggles glowing, clipboard in hand, present at the crime scene he promised to expose. The chamber spins. Price sits 10 feet away, poker-faced. If he's the hidden architect, my victory just detonated an even larger minefield, and I'm standing square on the trigger. I lean toward the mic, forcing steadiness. Madam Chair, I request an immediate recess to verify new evidence. My voice sounds distant, like radio through static. Carter narrows her eyes. Counselors will confer. Gavels. Spectators buzz. Reporters sent blood deeper than any headline they planned. Price stands slowly, palms smoothing his tie. Major, surely this can wait. I slap the printed still on the table. Does that look like waiting his pupils contract? The poker face fissures. Security escorts Ethan down the hall, but his shout echoes back, "Go on, Anna. Tell them who filmed us." He laughs. Manic. Family friends in high places. One senator leans to another. Whispers grow viral. Mitch Darden edges close, whispering into my ear, "Stay on script, you detonate too early." Evidence gets tossed on technicality. But injustice squeezes like a tourniquet. Price authored bills cutting PTSD funding, preached patriot ethics, and now appears at an illegal arms transfer. My knuckles bleach around the Valor Cross. Its scar glints under fluorescent light, reminding me anger must serve strategy, not swallow it. Grace texts, "We have timestamp. GPS overlay matches. Price's old unit deployment logs." Tink adds digital watermark in the still same camera signature as footage, legally airtight. I exhale. Actions, not adrenaline. During recess, Mitch, 2 committee lawyers, and I meet behind closed doors. The lawyers review the frame plus metadata hash. Their faces cycle from confusion to horror. Mitch lays out motive. Price's military contract investments skyrocketed post-Harrelite. He chaired subcommittee waivers to fast-track disposal exports. Conflict of interest is polite. Mitch growls. This is war profiteering. One lawyer bites his pen. We can't question a sitting member mid-hearing without probable cause on record. I slide the Valor Cross across the table. Camera still embedded. Let him see what I saw. We rewind to frame 1942, zoom in. Price's reflection is grainy but undeniable. Badge lanyard. Clipboard. Whitaker crest patch. The lawyer's pen snaps. Recess ends. Room 2141 hushes like a church waiting for thunder. Chairwoman Carter clears her throat. Before we proceed, Major Whitaker has introduced supplemental footage. It implicates entities beyond those named earlier. For transparency, we will project frame 1942. The image fills monitors. Gasps ripple. Price tries a smile. Shakes his head. With all respect, that resemblance is coincidence. Many contractors wore similar gear. Carter's eyebrow arches. Congressman, did you deploy to Libya in 2011 under private contract? A vein pulses in his temple. I was on a fact-finding mission, authorized. I stand, fact-finding with a clipboard at 2 a.m. beside RPG crates destined for rebels. Spectators murmur, "Got him." Price's composure fractures. "This is political theater," he barks. But the gavel cracks, harder. Mitch hands Carter the Belvoir affidavit, incontrovertible chain of custody linking the footage to Price via equipment serials and flight manifests. Her gaze turns iron. "Congressman Price, you are relieved of committee duties pending investigation. Sergeant-at-Arms, escort him." His chair scrapes back. He points at me, eyes wildfire. "You just crippled national security for a headline," as guards lead him out. He hisses, crosses tarnish. "Major, reputations burn." Price's removal detonates the news cycle. Outside, press alleys swarm. Grace's drones feed it to VetNet with split-screen commentary. Hashtags flip, #Whitakergate, #Price tag, #ValorXVictory. Within an hour, the Justice Department announces a joint FBI-DCIS task force. Warrants bloom like poisonous flowers, one for Father's office, one for Whitaker Defense Vaults. Ethan, hearing the news mid-processing, reportedly vomits on an agent's shoes. I would pay to see the footage. But inside me, elation tangles with grief. Travis's ghost finally swings a hammer at the machine. Yet the cost lodges in my chest, heavier than the cross. After testimony, I retreat to a tiled restroom, lock a stall. My hands shake so badly I almost drop the metal. For a moment I close my eyes. Back in Fallujah, the boom, the flame, the weight of Travis's body. I whisper, "I hope you saw that." Doc. When I exit, an elderly vet in 82nd Airborne Cap waits. He salutes, "Ma'am. My grandson called me a liar last year. He believed those stolen valor blogs. Today, he texted, 'You were right. Thank you.'" Tears blur his metal ribbons. I return the salute. Words catch like sand and wind. Evening. Our team holes up in a safe apartment overlooking the Anacostia. News tickers glow red. Frank Whitaker's attorneys file a temporary restraining order, claiming the evidence endangers proprietary defense secrets. A federal judge schedules an emergency midnight hearing. Grace curses. They'll argue national security to gag tomorrow's press release. Mitch paces. "Judge Hollander, she's conservative but hates corruption. We need a public interest brief ready in 2 hours." Tink, typing whirlwinds, mutters hash mirrors hold. But if the court seals them, servers could face takedown requests. I stare at the Valor Cross lying on the table, scar catching lamplight like a thin grin. Mom's motto echoes, "Here the truth shines." Symbols matter only if they stay visible. I tap record on my phone, raw front camera confession. "It's Anna. You saw Congress clean house today. But the defendants have one move left: silence. If they gag us. History rewrites itself at midnight. I lay out steps, download the evidence packet. Print, mirror. Hand deliver to local papers. Be the photocopier history needs." Within minutes. Retweets explode. Vet halls from Boise to Brooklyn, open lobbies for truth print-a-thons. A union of postal workers offers overnight shipping free of charge to every congressional office. Crowdsource activism glows brighter than neon. 58 p.m., Federal Courthouse, D.C., marble glints like frozen waterfalls under spotlights. Inside, Judge Hollander presides. Robe crisp, eyes tiger sharp. Whitaker lawyers argue leaks imperil troops. Cite classified annexes. Mitch counters Harrelite killed troops and fuels foreign insurgency secrecy, protects profiteers. Not soldiers. Then the unexpected witness, Congressman Price. In cuffs, flips. He offers sworn testimony that Frank funded his campaigns in exchange for oversight, blind spots. The gallery gasps. Whitaker counsel stammers. Hollander's gavel cracks. Motion to seal denied. Public safety outweighs proprietary claims. She turns to U.S. Marshals. Execute outstanding warrants immediately. Outside. Fireworks, actually fireworks. Veterans on the mall ignite red, white, blue fountains in celebration. It's 2 a.m. when I step onto the Capitol steps. Rain drizzles, soft as forgiveness. A dozen cameras still linger. Reporters shout for quotes. I spot a young Latino boy clutching a handmade poster. Truth is patriotic. He's rain-soaked, shivering. I kneel. Unpin the Valor Cross. The metal is cold, scabbed, honest. "Hold this," I tell him, pressing it into his palm. "It carries a story worth guarding. One day you'll tell it better than me." His eyes glow city-like gold. Water drums on marble. Somewhere distant, sirens signal Whitaker arrests. My phone vibrates, encrypted call from Spectre TB. I answer. A mechanically masked voice filters through static. Price was a pawn. The kingpiece owns deeper pockets, and your mother's library is the key. Before I can reply, the line dies. Lightning forks over the National Mall, illuminating Maria Elena Library banner, recently rehung, but tonight flapping half-detached. Letters twisted by wind like a question mark daring me to finish the war. Rain drills the sidewalk in tight. Needling bursts as I jog toward the Maria Elena Library. Hoodie plastered to my spine. Courthouse floodlights shrinking behind me. At this hour, 03:11, the city is a hush of traffic signals and distant sirens shuttling Whitaker executives toward holding cells. Yet the banner over the double doors flaps half-torn. The motto, "Here the truth shines," twisted by wind, so the word truth dangles like a dare. My phone still glows with the final text from Spectre TB: the Kingpiece owns deeper pockets. And your mother's library is the key. Whoever Spectre is, they've been dead on every step. Thunder grumbles. I tug the keycard Mom gave me years ago. Edges worn smooth by pocket winters, and swipe the side entrance. The reader beeps green. Warm light spills onto linoleum, the color of faded moss. The foyer smells of old pages and lemon oil home. Water drips from my cuffs, ticking against tile. I pass posters for ESL classes and a community food pantry my father tried to brand. They're back to Mom's blue and gold palette now. Volunteers scrubbed off Whitaker logos after yesterday's arrests. The injustice she endured her name erased still hums in the walls. Spectre's clue tugs me downstairs to the archives, where humidity pumps keep history breathing. My flashlight beam skims rows of dusty high school yearbooks and microfilm reels. At the far corner, a shelf stands half pulled from the wall. The janitor mentioned a foundation crack months ago. I brace shoulders. Shove. Rollers squeal. The unit slides, revealing a steel door no bigger than a utility closet. Stenciled MEW, private collection. Mom had a secret vault. The code panel glitters with touchscreen dust. I gamble a birth year 1959. Red. Try her anniversary 07-04-88, celebrated on Independence Day, because she loved mashups of patriotism and romance. Green blink. Door clicks. Inside a cedar chest, a single bulb dangling like an interrogation light, and stacks of cardboard tubes. My breath fogs in the chill. I flip the chest latch. Hinges groan. On top lies a leather folio labeled Legacy, uncurated. My pulse thrashes. The first document, a notarized share ledger proving Whitaker Defense Solutions, is majority owned not by father, but by a Cayman shell called Caledon Holdings. Itself funded by half a dozen pension plans from teachers, firefighters, postal workers. The true kingpiece isn't a man, but a web siphoning public retirement funds into shadow wars. Below, Mom's handwriting floods margins. If the board ever forces Ashford to swallow lies, let these numbers vomit them back up. M.E. Lightning flashes through basement windows. For an instant, I think I see Mom's silhouette beside a ladder of encyclopedias. Just shelves and shadow, but heart stutters anyway. Behind the folio, a sealed envelope addressed, "To Anna. When valor costs blood again." Inside, a memory card. Different from Travis's. Smaller. Newer. I pocket it. Mind racing, could Mom and Travis have collaborated? She ran literacy programs for vets. Maybe paths crossed. Footsteps scuff overhead library doors opening. I kill the flashlight. A male voice calls Major Whitaker. Not hostile, familiar gravel. Mitch descends. Rain on his parka. Behind him limps an older man with salt and pepper stubble. Conservative suit, and eyes so haunted they feel like family. "Anna," Mitch says softly. "Meet Dr. Booker Travis's father." My throat locks. He steps close, presses a USB onto my palm. Spectre TB is me. Travis scheduled auto emails to my account in case he died. Your testimony activated the last file pointing here. His fingers tremble, but his voice is iron. Finish what my boy started. The USB houses footage of a Caledon board meeting where father boasts Herolite profits will de-risk pensions through patriotic arbitrage. My stomach flips. That line alone could sink them in court. "We stream all of it now," I whisper. Mitch nods. He's already dropped portable hotspots along the aisle, antennas poking between Huck Finn and the things they carried. Grief and tech, side by side, 21st century gospel. Grace pings drone grid still aloft, ready for payload. Tink texts a link. Legacy uncurated. Zip mirrored on 40K nodes. I wheel a projector cart to the front atrium, angle it toward the frosted glass windows facing Main Street. The glass becomes a screen. At 04:07 a.m., the first slide appears, Who really owns Whitaker Defense? Bullet points bloom like tracer rounds in the rain. Car headlights slow. Someone records from a bus stop. Within minutes, had library leak trends. Local news races vans. As files scroll pension siphons, board bribes, Caledon minutes my Valor cross-camera records everything. Feeding Grace's mesh. A live ticker counts mirrors 12K, 19K, 28K. Each click another citizen refusing curated legacy. Sirens crescendo. FBI units arrive, but so do black sedans with temporary plates. Out steps Whitaker's interim counsel, waving a court order to seize stolen corporate archives. Agents hesitate, jurisdictions snarl. A sedan door opens, and Father himself emerges in raincoat and ankle monitor. Released after arraignment. His gaze sweeps the glowing window of data. He looks old, smaller, but still dangerous. Anna, he calls. Those documents damage pensioners. Not me. Shut it down and I'll plead guilty. Shield their funds. Classic guilt lever, turn public good into hostage. I walk to the steps. Valor cross clinking. You siphoned from them first. Exposure is the antidote, not the wound. He shivers, rain pelting hair. Legacy is fragile, kid. I touch the scar on the cross. Then maybe it should break. Behind me, the projector advances to the last slide, Mom's handwriting enlarged. Her motto underlined 3 times. The crowd gasps. Some cheer. Father's shoulders sag. By dawn. DOJ freezes Caledon assets, guaranteeing pensions through emergency insurance. Father and Ethan face new RICO counts. Price negotiates full cooperation. Camera crews swarm. Vets place miniature flags along the library steps. Tiny lines of red, white, blue like stitches across a national wound. Inside, I hand Dr. Booker the Valor Cross. He insisted the boy keep it. But his boy is gone. Guard this story. I tell him. He nods, tears mixing with the rain. A week later, the library hosts a town hall. I stand beneath a fresh plaque. Maria Elena, Whitaker Community Library. Knowledge is power, truth is duty. We unveil an exhibit titled Scars of Service, Travis's Helmet Cam. My hoodie with Phoenix logo. Screenshots of Howard Library leak memes. Visitors trace the cross's gouge. Ask children what they see. One girl says, a lightning bolt that didn't quit. In interviews, I repeat 3 takeaways. Valor can't be binary. Real heroes mess up, break down, stand up again. Transparency is security. Secrecy protects profiteers. Sunlight protects soldiers. American Dream 2.0 must include watchdogs with Wi-Fi and courage, not just fortunes with lawyers. Now, if you're watching this video months later, remember, archives still need guardians. Download Legacy Uncurated. Zip from the pinned comment. Seed it. Tell your local reporter. If you served and your record vanished. Contact the Veterans Justice Project. Pro bono lawyers owe me favors. Like, subscribe, throw a comment about the bravest truth teller you know. Maybe it's your grandma who kept payroll books straight. Maybe it's a whistleblowing janitor. Algorithms lift voices only when we shout together. As I lock up the library one night, the street lamp flickers. A motorcycle idles at the curb. Rider helmeted, visor reflective. He lifts a gloved hand, offers a crisp envelope, drives off before I step forward. Inside, a single-sheet Herolight was Chapter 1. Ask about Project Starling, same investors. New theater, signed simply. T. Could be Travis's scheduled messages, could be a copycat, could be the next storm brewing. I tuck the note behind Mom's motto plaque. Lightning etches the sky. And the glass doors throw my reflection back, scarred cross on my chest. Library key in hand, half sentinel, half student. The story isn't over, but tonight the truth shines a little brighter, and that is enough light to march by until dawn.